friends. We're back for Black and Curious. I'm Kendrin.
Hey, it's Stacia. How y'all doing?
Hello. We're back. If you've never been here before, welcome. We do a cross section of pop culture in real life, and we're here multiple times a week. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and subscribe to our channel and like this video in advance. Today, we are doing a pop culture mashup. Timestamps will be below in the description box. What have we first?
Child, did you read the Amanda Seales op-ed?
I did not, but I have followed some of the discourse around Amanda Seales, and I have definite opinions. What was said in the
So
op-ed?
the long and the short is it was just contradictory of the writer. She said that she understands that we as a culture need a person like Amanda Seales, but then at the same token, that Amanda can be very polarizing. And I'm paraphrasing. This is not verbatim what she said because I read this
Understood.
last week or the week before last. But like the biggest thing for me is that you in like the beginning of it, you're applauding Amanda for her bravery and all the all that comes with her and all of her work that she's done. But then toward the end, it's like then you undermine that by stating like you see why people don't like you and like you're hard to swallow and like and so it just was kind of like, girl, like was this why was this needed? Because also I think Essence had done something else where they were like, again, applauding Amanda for how she shows up and her social activism, but then they let this op-ed come through.
Mm. Okay.
I don't know. It's just my beliefs about Amanda is that Amanda is in your face and not everybody can deal with that. And while um I feel for her in the sense that we live in a world where everybody wants to like, nice nasty you and she just ain't that. Like kind of like you. Like you don't do the night like either you nasty or you nice. Like there is no in the middle. You know
Mm-mm.
what I mean? She's very black and white and I think people want her to, like mix in some gray here and there and like you're not going to get that with Amanda Seales.
Here's the thing. So, for a bit of context, if you haven't been following this story, Amanda basically came on the internet and told her fans essentially, like, thank you guys. If it wasn't for you, then I wouldn't really be out here because the industry
Still
has
doing shit. Yeah.
basically, the black part of the industry has basically done away with me. So thank you guys for
Mm-hmm.
continuing to support me. That was that was the gist of what she said.
The
Here's my thing.
context. Yeah.
And I know this is going to sound maybe, I don't know. Um, I Amanda, first of all, reminds me a lot of Monique in that she is just very firm in her own opinions. And
Woo, that connection. I was not ready. Carry
oh,
on,
you weren't?
friend.
Oh, okay. No, they she
I was
reminds me.
that. That's why I was like,
Here's my thing, right? And yes, I'm very much, I said this before, I'm either nice or I am nasty. However, with one caveat, and that's work, and that's my money. And my thing is,
mm-hmm.
when you are in a space and you're working in a space, you can't piss everybody off and then be mad that they don't want to work with you. You can't be, and it seems like she wants to say whatever she wants to say, which is fine. But then you have to take responsibility, like you have to accept the consequences. Like if you do all this
Mm-hmm.
stuff and you say all these things and you know it's going to piss people off, you have to accept the consequences that people are going to be pissed off and aren't going to want to work with you. And that seems to be an ongoing sort of commentary that
Like
we have
battle.
heard about her over time. And
Yeah.
listen, I am, call me a sellout, whatever, I don't really care. I think there's a place for morals and principles and all of those things. And I think that that is good that you stand on those things. But when it comes to making money, everybody don't need to know about all of your morals and principles and values. Like at a certain point,
Mm-hmm.
the work is the work. You go to work
Mm-hmm.
and you keep it moving. And I don't think that she has a good, because she is a cultural critic as well. So I don't think she just has a
She's
good
also a
balance.
creative too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm
So it's
saying. I
kind
just
of
don't think
hard.
I agree with you, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't think there's any balance where she has a line where she isn't willing to cross for the sake of her work, or for the sake of her acting work, and being good in the industry. It doesn't feel like she has that line, and as a result, this is what her career has kind of become, which is fine because she's made a career doing cultural commentary in her shows and her comedy and all of the other things. So I think it's fine and it's working out for her. But at the end of the day, like, and I talk about this with housewives too. I talk about this in all different contexts. Like at a certain point when it's work and you have to play the game to do the work and to be in those spaces.
Yeah. But as we have said about even ourselves, we are not necessarily people that really play the game well. So it's just
No,
kind of like even when you acknowledge like, okay, there's work, this is where I get my check, like I gotta play this game, it's don't make it any easier. And I can't
agreed.
imagine to be on the platforms in which she is on that, and the things that have happened to her, whether they were self-inflicted or like, outwardly projected onto her, right? I just kind of feel for her in the sense that like she damned if she do and if she don't, because people just don't like her.
Yeah.
And that the op-ed was basically saying like what you're saying, that in order for you to work, you have to meet that likability factor.
Yeah,
Like
for
you
sure.
got to be likable for you to be able to continue to get work. And in this industry, if the going word about you is that she's, like difficult and hard to work with, and whatever the case, not that these things were written in that article, nor do I feel this way. I'm just saying like these are the things that she's kind of expressed in different mediums about how she's been treated. If that's the reputation that goes before you, it just makes it difficult, even if that's not really who you are, for people to want to be open to do anything with you.
Yeah, I agree. And especially with her, like she has had some it is kind of hard with her because like she's had moments culturally within the black community, not even talking about her work, that she has ruffled feathers where people are like, I don't like her. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just in terms of like being dragged on Twitter numerous times over the years based on her perspective. And it's like, okay, if you're getting cast for something, the people who are casting are going to want to cast someone that they think the audience is going to like. So it's kind of like both are feeding into this not likable factor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she is
She's
kind
just
of
polarizing.
she's just
It's
polarizing. She
really what
is.
it comes down to.
And I'm going to be honest, like I used to follow her pretty closely. I liked her platform, but I think some of the stuff that she says is kind of out there and that's fine. But again, if you are trying to be a working actor, like I mean, you may have to just share your opinions with the group chat and keep it moving.
I think this is why people say that they don't want to know about your, like, we need to go back to the mystique of the 90s where we didn't know anything about our celebrities for real.
Where the disconnect has come about of just feeling like we know too much about y'all. And maybe I wish I didn't know that
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's go to the
Another
platforming.
polarizing person.
Yeah, another polarizing person. Candace Owens is laundering her image through the Breakfast Club and through Joe Budden. And so I don't know what's going on and why she is coming to launder her reputation or launder her image, but I don't want it. And I think this plays into the whole like radicalization thing that we've talked about here before, in,
Yeah.
giving her a platform to talk crazy.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's dangerous for people to now all of a sudden want to bring her back into the cookouts, as they've been saying, for the fact that she's like started to say commentary against the people that she's been running after to, like lift up and praise.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
no,
she
just
says
because
this.
she's agreeing with the things that we've been saying now doesn't mean that she still should be a part of the community.
No. And then she says this after she went on the Breakfast Club. The most brutal smears I ever faced was the media's attempt to convince Black people, my own community, that I hated them. Finally, Black America is recognizing that they were intentionally misled. This ah, that is thanks in large part to the Breakfast Club interview and Joe Budden. And bullshit. I call
I was
bullshit.
so confused by that because I was like, what?
I call
Like,
bullshit.
girl, we weren't misled. We
We
heard
weren't
everything that
misled.
you said over the last,
We heard you.
what, 8 years?
Yeah. We heard you. We understood you. Nobody had to lead me anywhere. I drew a conclusion based on what you were saying.
Right.
So, girl, please. Girl,
That
please.
part. So it
Uh,
just makes you kind of be like, what is everybody else seeing now? Like, why are we all in support of this woman who was not in support of us?
at all. At
And still ain't. She's
It still ain't.
pandering to like the community, basically.
Mm-hmm. She's not.
I don't think that she ever will be. But
Well,
I mean, no matter
she's
how
making
much
an
work
effort.
she does, but like prayerfully, Gen Z and the Gen Alphas will come along and pull the receipts of her tomfoolery and be like, no, girl, you are not invited.
Mm-mm. Not invited. All right, let's move on to Mielle Organics founder Monique Rodriquez is launching an investment fund.
Yeah, so I actually saw this by way of Afrotech. I follow them on Instagram and they posted up the headline. And so
Mm,
she's basically creating a fund, like a creator fund for basically people of color to
hmm
get the venture capital funds they aren't necessarily getting because they don't look at our projects and our businesses as worth being financially backed.
Yeah.
My biggest thing from seeing that was my concern around what's happening right now to the Fearless Fund and
Mm,
whether or not
yeah.
once they finally finish all of that case, once all that is all said and done with, will there be a precedent that then affects this new project that she's creating? Because it
Yeah.
seems like this is timely and we need it because like they have frozen up all of the Fearless funds, so they can't help anybody right now.
Yeah.
So
So for a bit of
basically, she's
background,
basically picking up
just
the
a little bit
mantle.
of background. Let's do little bit of background. So there's been after all of this like the affirmative action stuff, the case that was before the Supreme Court, a lot of these smaller companies and all of these other people are trying to use that as a precedent to stop any sort of DEI initiatives. I think we covered it last time we recorded about them stopping DEI programs at Florida state schools, I think at University of Florida. And now they are trying to use that as a precedent to say, like, all of these funds that are specifically for Black people, Black women, Black this, those cannot go forward under this ruling. So they're filing lawsuits using the affirmative action strike down as precedent for this to say, like, you're not allowed to do this anymore. So that is what's happening with the Fearless Fund. And I'm curious to see how that plays out as well. But I'm glad to see like something that we talked about in the past. A lot of these companies that are selling out, and moving on, like they're doing good in the community, and they are moving on from the companies that they founded to be of benefit within the community otherwise. And I think that's a cool thing to see.
Yeah, my hope is that this Fearless Fund stuff will be wrapped up quickly and that it'll be wrapped up in their favor.
Absolutely.
But my concern is that the way things have been rolling as of late, with all them tearing down of the DEI
Mhm.
initiatives and just things to afford people of color the monies and things that we don't necessarily get because it
Yeah.
wasn't designed for us to have. Like, I'm just concerned. I think
No.
that what Monique Rodriguez is doing is very commendable, and I wish it much success and luck.
Mhm.
I hope that her legal team might find ways to shield her from any of this, like what happens at the Fearless Fund. Maybe they can use that as like a case study to shield this new venture program to bypass
Yeah.
all that foolishness. We'll see
Totally
though.
agree. Totally agree. Last thing on the list, Cowboy Carter dropped. Did you listen to it?
I
Beyonce's
have
new
listened
album.
to a couple of songs here and there when I was walking the boys last week, but like you know me, I got to listen to it again.
Yeah, got it. I listened to it. The song, I listened to it one time straight through, and it's not something that I'll probably revisit all that often, to be honest. But I listened to when I got to the song with Miley, I don't know why I just started crying. I was just like, what is happening here? First of all, I love Cyrus's voice. I love that raspiness that she has. So I definitely was like in my feels about it. But also I just wanted to point out that this is like the biggest FU in history. After after they shaded her at the Country Music Awards a few years ago, I think she said it was 2016, and that performance is actually
Eight
one of my
years to be
favorites.
exact.
Okay. That her performance of Daddy Lessons, and I don't even Daddy Lessons was not my jam, but that performance was really good with the Dixie Chicks. And so
Yeah.
after that, she kind of was like, oh no, my turn. And so she did this thing, and it's just like a big amalgamation of a bunch
I'm
of
playing my
different
face, I'm
stuff.
playing yours.
Yeah, and it's like a bunch of different
Yeah.
sounds and different eras of like rock and country, and I thought it was really well done, and it sounded like a Beyonce album with tinges of country and like rock a little bit. And there was an opera song on there too. She did opera on one of those songs, and I was like, very nice.
Oh wow. I have not like I said, I've only listened to a couple of the songs, but my overall take is that Beyonce was just like, girl, y'all tried to play me 8 years ago, and I'm gonna come back and let you know the real history, because you all are always taking ownership over things as though you created it and you didn't.
And yeah.
So
And
this
then
is what it is.
yeah. Then had had Dolly and Willie Nelson doing her interludes. So it's like cool. Let's just
Hello.
do it then.
But my thing is, there was, before the album actually dropped, the one of the actors from Dukes of Hazzard, and he later went on to be a part of Tyler Perry universe. Like, my man, how dare you sit here and criticize a Black woman making music that don't have nothing to do with you? She's not, y'all are in no sort of a similar stature, okay? Why are you criticizing what it is that she's doing, and you out here collecting checks from Black productions? Like, make it make sense.
The people don't be thinking, honestly.
They don't be thinking.
They just be feeling and putting their feelings all over the internet, and we hate that for them. That's all that I have on the list. You got anything else?
I think that about wraps up what we got. So, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next conversation.
Bye.
Bye.